Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Waking up meant that he gave me a chance and I'm rolling the dice. I do it all, living like I'm trying to go for the platinum trophy in life. Who can you call? Really nobody, so you should just follow me on your device. And know if she chilling with me, then it's bound to be chemical X and the sugar and spice. Game in the system, but game is the hobby. I'm probably cocky, but hot as wasabi. I mean, if it's beef, then you know where to find me. My niggas is ready and so is my body. You should be running and telling your posse and what's in the speakers and what's in your potty. And she trying to kick it, but this ain't karate. Just keep that shit down while I'm watching Tsunami. I ain't saying I'm a super nerd, but I told you when we got involved, my idea of a perfect date is a PlayStation and some alcohol. I was role playing on GTA. I'm a good guy, but I got it all. If the world should end, be the first to leave, but the last of us acting naughty, dog. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Waking up meant that he gave me a chance and I'm rolling the dice. I do it all, living like I'm trying to go for the platinum trophy in life. Who can you call? Really nobody, so you should just follow me on your device. And know if she chilling with me, then it's bound to be chemical X and the sugar and spice. Game in the system, but game is the hobby. I'm probably cocky, but hot as wasabi. I mean, if it's beef, then you know where to find me. My niggas is ready and so is my body. You should be running and telling your posse and what's in the speakers and what's in your potty. And she trying to kick it, but this ain't karate. Just keep that shit down while I'm watching Tsunami. I ain't saying I'm a super nerd, but I told you when we got involved, my idea of a perfect date is a PlayStation and some alcohol. I was role playing on GTA. I'm a good guy, but I got it all. If the world should end, be the first to leave, but the last of us acting naughty, dog. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Level up, tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough. Never lose, should've had better luck. I'ma wake 'em up from a slumber. Money ain't nothing but a thing, and the level ain't nothing but a number. Life ain't nothing but a game. Level up, never lose, should've had better luck. Tryna see a check, I'ma run it up. Yeah, I do a lot, still ain't done enough.
It's gonna be May. What's going on, people? Famous Sam here from LV1Gaming.com. Congratulations, you guys leveled up to 289. This is the LV1 Level 1 Gaming Podcast. I messed that up. First time saying it that way, right? For years, I've been saying it's the Double XP Podcast. It's so, I got to get used to saying this is the Level 1 Gaming Podcast, right? I got to get used to saying that. It is May 1st. Thank you guys for coming out and rocking with me. I see you guys in the chat already. Stone King, what's happening with you? Hope all is well with me. Stanley, what's going on, man? Glorious Kev, I see you in the chat, brother. He live for the Hugcast. I respect it in all shapes and fashions. Basically, going with the introduction, we got a lot to talk about tonight, right? Fallout. Starfield, maybe the 30 frames per second wasn't an artistic thing because we getting 60 FPS. Xbox Showcase is around the corner. How many of these games are going to be on PlayStation? So much stuff to talk about. But first, introductions. My right hand, man, the floor hugger with the hardest of ours. What's going on, sis?
What's going on, y'all? I'm glad to be back talking about gaming and all that. And I just want to remind you guys I am Canadian because earlier today I heard my neighbor outside with their bagpipes practicing. And you can't get more Canadian than that at like 11 in the morning. So have a great day. Let's talk about some games and you get into it.
The shorts
Bagpipes.
feed is up and running. Frizzle, I see you over there in the shorts feed. What's happening? Which I ain't forgot about. Your shorts feed is up and popping. Next up, if your emails are popping and your DMs are full, that's because communication director of level 1 trying to get a hold of you, baby. Bam J67, what's going on, Chief?
Man, I just want to give quick thanks to all of our members. I want to give a thanks to Dallas Man, Geek Life Mike, Master Sith, Talzuchi, Emmanuel A1, Raiden Blade, Adidas 20, TSWS Gaming, Donald Taku, Lord Metroid, J0387, Strolly, Johnny Man 117, Legendary Yobi, Miss L, and Bordy McBoy.
That's love. Listen, that's one of the best ways you can support the channel, support the content, and all the stuff we're doing. Because we got, Baron got some dope stuff coming down in LA. We got packs coming, so much stuff coming up, man. That's the best way you can support the channel is by becoming a channel member. And of course, like Bordy's doing in the chat, if you want to pop out them polygon chi-chis, or if you want to go red eyes, hug a dragon, some cool things you can do in the chat. But next up, one of the hardest working women in the biz. Y'all know from Dames for Game, Freedom Games. Des, what's going on, sis?
Hey guys, I'm tired, but good to be here. Sorry, I'm working right now, which is why I'm not on camera.
Look,
work.
Yeah, I have to book flights, so that's what I'm doing right now. But I'm here.
Baller.
Don't forget about my flight. I need first class.
I'll take business.
I'll
take business.
Wherever we go, I need first class window seat.
I'm gonna have to give you that economy for the sticker that you made for me.
No, strap fame on the outside of the plane.
Yeah.
What you mean? What are you talking? What are you talking? Oh, you talking about the buck?
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Bordy.
Yeah. Chicken head.
I'm sorry. Now,
chicken head.
Now wait a minute. That
was disrespectful.
So listen, when we created these emails, I told y'all if y'all send me a profile picture, I'm gonna make it funny. Fair warning.
Earlier, before the
I did not call you that. You're not being called.
You did. You started off with the song. All black people know that that's what comes next. Don't play.
How you know it's even black people in the chat? We don't know.
You know.
No one might.
You know.
That's different. It's called an inside joke.
No, they all know.
No one
they all know. They all know. They know. I still got you a flight. It's just economy. Don't be upset.
That's fine. I need that drink package though.
I'll see what I
can't stand this.
All right. Last but not least, the owner of Second Opinion Pro. My Texas brotherine, who I have not seen in a long time. I can't wait to get back to rock with my boy. Solar.
Wow.
I almost said your government. What's going on, brother?
Everything's good, man. Everything's good. Just still doing my thing, reviewing, writing, podcasting as much as I can. And the biggest job of them all is, playing that really big game, one of the largest RPGs I've ever taken a part of, which is Fatherhood.
Man,
that's the rough one,
bro.
That's like level 999.
I got two gremlins in here now. I got one right there and one.
Don't call them kids gremlins.
Hey, listen, I had to put a big sign on my office door. It was like, recording. Do not come in. Most of the times when we do the podcast, we'll do the Second Opinion podcast in the middle of it, and my daughter will walk in and be like, "Hey, did you see the drawing that I did from school today?" I'm like,
"Bro,
maybe
literally, yeah.
We're recording right now."
But
yeah, man,
I don't care. Did you see my drawing?
Right? She's like, I
Yeah.
don't care. They're gonna listen to what's going on and
then-
everything. So I'm very excited to be here. You know, Fame, we've known each other for quite some time. And Floor Hugger, we've met before as well, but I'm glad to meet both of you as well, and all the
Hey.
listeners and viewers. Get ready for a show you will never forget.
Amen.
Listen, for those wondering, yes, there are 2 streams up and running. One is the regular stream, one is the shorts feed. The reason why there's 2 is because even after the fact, if you do one vertical, it runs through the shorts feed after the fact, all right? And we're trying to capitalize on the shorts feed. So feel free to jump back to either one. But I found out something that we can do. I think it's pretty cool, so I'm gonna do that right now.
This is
We're gonna,
like
I'm gonna
Raw
give
versus
5
SmackDown.
people.
OG streams
Yeah.
Raw, you're SmackDown.
I just gifted 5 memberships for the month.
Oh, you
guys
figured it
go
out.
in there. Yeah, I figured it out. I was able to give 5, so I just get the 5 people look like Skycrow, Arcade, the Black John, and Chris Coleman just got the 5 memberships I just gifted out. So you
Let's
guys feel free to go in there
go.
and emotes. Check out the content that's involved with the exclusive content involved with our memberships.
Especially last
And
week's
again, if you want
episode.
to please, if you want to continue to support the stream, continue to become a channel member after the fact. But in the meantime, enjoy those emotes. Listen, I want to jump right into it. I want to get into Starfield. Starfield, quote unquote, game of the generation, quote unquote, the Xbox save. It was deemed a lot of things. It came out and it wasn't. It's not a bad game. Let me make that clear. It's not a bad game. It didn't meet a lot of people's expectations. A lot of that had to be where they felt like it was undercooked and underbaked, with missing certain features. One in particular being 60 frames per second. We heard so many things about it being, yo, listen, I gotta stop. Stone King with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Michael. That's love. That's love right there. I appreciate that. With the hugger dab. Thank you, Stone King, the 5 gifted memberships, bro. That helps us out a whole bunch. It helps support the stream. We really appreciate that. Much love to you, brother.
Seriously.
But Starfield, one of the most things people talk about the most, it didn't have 60 frames per second. And I think I know what's happening with me for a second. I'm so sorry. I know what's going on. Why I might be skipping to y'all. And then that should be fixed right now.
Oh, I was gonna say
on my stream, I'm going like really goofy.
I was gonna say you look fine, bro.
Yeah, you look fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good now. So one of the big updates that we are getting is Starfield at 60 frames per second. That for a lot of people, including myself, that is one of the most notable things that we're getting from this. But that isn't all. Of course, we're going to get some difficulty options that are being changed. Some different things that you want to mix up. So if you want to make the actual gameplay harder, but the ship gameplay easy, you can mix that up how you see fit. Of course, they're saying surprises. That could mean anything. We're getting new gameplay, new shipbuilding features, which I'm not big on the shipbuilding stuff. Like I go in there, give me the strong stuff, and I go about my business. Some people making some crazy stuff. Much respect to y'all. Not really my thing. City maps. To me, next to 60 frames per second, that's one of the most important updates this game needs, right? Because who knew the hell? If you knew where you were going in Starfield, you're lying.
That part.
So many times I'm like, I have no idea where I'm going. So I'm just all over the place, right? So city maps are super important. And then again, at 60 frames per second, there's some other things going on. But I want to start with the chat, and I want to start with, I guess, Solop, your thoughts on Starfield. Did you enjoy Starfield? Are you looking forward to this update? Because we're going to get this update prior to the DLC being released, which I have a very interesting point about that after I get your opinion.
Okay, so I actually had a little bit of a different feel with Starfield than what most people did. Not in just the perspective of being somebody that's a big Bethesda fan or somebody that has always coveted the work that Bethesda, id Software, and most of their studios do. I loved Starfield right out the bat. The reason I did is because years ago, when they really started pushing the whole 60 frames per second, 120 frames per second, all this other stuff, I had a constant battle with myself. Like I went out and I got the biggest TV that could do the biggest frames and all this other stuff. And I found myself at a point to where I was like, bro, this shit, like I can't even use it. I can't even enjoy most of these games at 60 frames per second. So why am I even worrying about that? So I kind of had to retrain my mind on getting back used to games that are 30 frames per second and more focusing on what the core of these games were really about. And one thing that stood out for me for Starfield was what something that is special about Bethesda as a game studio is exploration. That's one of the biggest things that Bethesda has always been known for. And there were so many negative comments online of saying, oh, well, you go to these planets and they're just completely barren. They're empty. They're this or that. I got the game 3 weeks early. So I put in a lot of time into this game. So I when I say I put in a ton of time, like I'm talking about like completely disassociating myself with my children, my wife. I don't even think in those 3 weeks I did any type of content creation, podcasting, anything like that. I was like, I got to really focus in on this. I want to make sure that I get every ounce that I can out of this game. And I'm telling you, still to this day, I will say that I do not think it was as bad as a launch as most people kind of led to believe. I do feel that things that I even left out from what Fame brought up that I didn't even think of while playing the game was, the map feature. It's not that it just I was engrossed in a different way. So now that I think about it, I'm like, damn, of course, if they had a more updated map feature, it would have been a greater, even more great experience than what I had. But this is a good thing, but I feel like most of what they are doing with this is appeasement. It's like more of an appeasement update. Like the map, the surface map update is a great thing because of what it can do. Now, the fact that you can literally zoom into the surface and see what's actually on there instead of having to go down to the planet and walk for 7 hours to be like, oh, okay, there was a gun.
And land vehicles are coming now too. That's a big update.
Yeah.
That's coming. It won't come May 15th, but it's part of the future updates. We're finally getting land vehicles.
And that's something that they needed as well as at launch. And I'll say I did leave that out of my review. But what I will say that I still stick to 100% true to what my review stated is that Starfield is a game that gives players the chance to write their own story for their characters. So yes, you have the opportunity of doing all these side missions and doing this stuff, but the way I felt about it is I was able to really create my character with a lot of different traits, and instead of just going on a somewhat of a rail that even some of their other games have done, like with Skyrim and with Fallout. Though it was an open world, those games were open world. They still somewhat felt like they were kind of pushing you, like, "Hey, go this way." Starfield was, and it might have been a flaw. It might have been something they didn't mean to do, but Starfield was like, "Hey, fuck it. Here's a ship. You'll go do what you need to do." So. And you just and I don't know if I can curse or not. I do apologize.
No, you're good.
But I feel like that's the reason I enjoyed Starfield so much is that when I did want to engross myself into side quests and stories, and so on and so forth, I really enjoyed my time. But whenever I didn't want to do that and I just wanted to just say, F it, I'm just going to go explore as much as I can and see how expansive this game is. I got that, I got that enjoyment from that game. So not to go on to a big, soapbox there, but I'm a big Starfield defender. So I think there was way too much unnecessary hate for the game whenever it first came out. I think if anything, there was a lot of content creators out there that were just pushing for clout on a lot of stuff of saying that, the planets are empty. There's this, there's that, this is supposed to be Xbox big exclusive. Which I'll still say is a stupid thing to say, especially since originally Bethesda planned on it being a AAA, game on multiple different consoles. But this is a great update that is going to solidify what I said in my review, that it is one of the greatest games in a generation for Bethesda. And with the upcoming DLC, with the fact that you can do 30 to 40 to 60 to uncapped frame rates with VRR displays. The fact that you can have the different map updates, ground vehicles, all this other stuff, bro. I mean, come on, like you have a lot to do in this game, and there's no possible way that you're not going to be able to have stuff to do until Fallout or the next Elder Scrolls comes out if you're a Bethesda fan. So anybody that's an Xbox user, if you haven't played this game, you've still been on the fence, now is honestly the time to play it. When this update comes out, power up that Xbox and get ready to sit down for quite some time, because at least you have a better way of traveling than what we did. We don't have to walk around with a companion following us for 17 hours. So,
well, interestingly enough, it's mentioned that this update, the 60 FPS part at least, is for the Xbox Series X. So it looks like there might be a distinction. Like if you have the S, you might be stuck at 30 FPS. But B, I'm gonna swing over to you. First off, did you finish Starfield? Because I personally got burnt out on Starfield because I did everything that you could do in this game except the main campaign, because I was so enamored in the world itself and I was all over the place. And so this update will bring me back to the game, but I want to know your thoughts. Will this update bring you back to Starfield if you stop playing it?
You know what? I stopped playing it. Funny enough, I was the one who reviewed it for Level 1. And I ended up putting, at the time of the review, because I'm looking at it now, 4 days, 23 hours, and 38 minutes. Wow. And I didn't finish the main campaign. That is how
somebody gonna be mad about that.
That's fine.
You know how the people are. What you mean you got 4 days worth of time? You didn't roll credits? Oh, angry. Oh, I'm so mad.
What kind of reviewer are you, huh?
What kind of reviewer are you?
Look, let me tell you guys this. You go ahead and because I think total now I have 6 days in the game. You go play 6 days in a game and tell me whether or not you enjoy it, or like you didn't enjoy it, or you didn't get a lot out of it, or you didn't get enough out of it to discuss. Like, come on, come on, bro. Stop. 6 days? 6 days in a game, and you don't think I can talk about it? Not 6 days playing it, 6 days game time. Get out of here. Go somewhere, bro. But long story short, funny enough, my cons are all being addressed, except the facial animations, are being addressed in this update. Not always clear what to do, which more or less was about the map, because the map, it was a very difficult thing to get around, to the point that I still have bookmarked the New Atlantis Starfield map genie thing that somebody
crazy.
made. I still have the companion tab that I would keep open. Like, where the hell was that one store that I needed to go? And I go there to that marker. But and then the inventory management. That was literally my 3 cons, was the not always clear what to do, facial animations were dated as hell, and the inventory management was difficult. And these, outside of the facial animations, these are the things that are being addressed in the update. I ended up giving it a 9. I thought it was an amazing experience. You're talking to a guy who loved No Man's Sky from day one. I know when
don't you dare bring up that game.
Oh, bro, I got the collector's edition for PlayStation 4. Like, bro, let me tell you this. When I think of a true space game, I imagine vastness. I imagine emptiness. I imagine that's what space is. I mean, hell, look at our solar system. Like come on. Like, you literally have 1 planet out of 9, depending on who you're talking to. Like, that has active life and civilization on it. So what more are you expecting? I mean, hell, I played Starbound. Like, for that's a deep cut. I love space games. Like, that's my thing, and I understand that a true space game is gonna have some vast emptiness. And that was my title: the blending of fantasy and the beautiful emptiness of space. That is the embodiment of Starfield. Now, I think that Starfield is going to get a long burn, like Skyrim. I think we're going to be looking at Starfield for the next 10 years, and you're going to randomly get a this, randomly get a that. And I think this is going to have some longevity to it. And I would not be surprised if we get an announcement that this bad boy ends up on other consoles.
That was the point I was going to ask you before I went to Hugger.
Yeah.
You talked about this getting a long burn. Does that long burn include the PlayStation 5?
Yeah, I believe so. I really do. And funny enough, you're going to see the PlayStation 5 version of this game, which is going to have all these updates, get a higher score than what it got initially.
Like
A
Sea of
higher
Thieves?
Metacritic. Yeah, it's going to have the Sea of Thieves effect. It's going to be a very real thing. But if that's what's going to take for Starfield to continue to get the support and to see a life cycle similar to Skyrim, not necessarily Skyrim level, but in terms of 10 years out, you're still seeing updates, you're still seeing changes, you're still seeing advancements and enhancements outside of the community, but actually from the devs, 100%. But yeah, the vastness of space, man, they really gave that to you, like this is space.
Wholeheartedly,
Yeah.
bro. That's honestly the best way. I don't mean to jump in, but that's the
No.
best way to say it, because there's so many times that you will travel to different sections of the galaxy or solar system or whatever, and whenever you get there, you're like, what's happening here? And there's nothing outside of like one ship, and then you're like, okay, well, there's nothing. You go to the next section and there's a million pirates that are about to explode your ship, you know. So that I think that's where you and me are vibing on that, is like
Yeah.
the possibilities are always, it's a hit and miss possibility. So you're traveling from one whole section of the galaxy to another, and you're like, oh, well, I didn't really see anything. And you can go to the next one and find a lonely grandma in a spaceship. Bro, I don't know if
and
you
she
had
invites you on. No, tell me what was the dopest thing to me was hitting that random star system or that random planet or area of space and running into the dude doing sea shanty.
Yes, bro. I was like, what is happening right now? Where's that coming from?
That was the coolest thing ever.
Oh,
and
dude,
I was like,
it was
this
awesome.
Bro, I was like, this is what I imagine spacefaring humans to
right
experience.
Now, when I ran into that grandma, I did have one of those Red Dead Redemption 2 moments to where like my judgment kind of split, and I was like, should I kill this lady?
She got a nice ship.
You got a nice ship. And then I was like, nah, she fed me. I guess I'll leave her alone.
There's a reason why grandma has a nice ship. Think about it. She's not as naive as she looks.
Exactly.
But man, I just like, I think I got to like midway of the main story because I was like, let me just go, because then I realized, put it this way, I was more than a day in, well, about a day in, when I finally started the missions and they formally explained how to dock. Because you guys got what people need to know if you haven't played Starfield.
Yeah.
They don't tell you how to dock until you go through the story mission.
Yeah.
And so, but you don't have to start the story mission.
No.
You literally, once you beat the intro, you can literally go and do whatever you want. Yep. And I did.
Yeah.
I took that to heart.
Yeah.
So I, like, all seriousness, like the beauty of the vastness of space. You're talking to a space junkie. Hugger, what did you think? What do you think about all these updates and what does this mean? Is this showing that there is a planned longevity for Starfield?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because let's look at the magnum opus of space games, Eve. It took as long as it has for Eve to be what it is. So the fact that they're willing to support it, and if it's boring for you, I get that. See through it. If you can't, The Outer Worlds, another great game, very linear. still space exploration. If you just want like go to mission. But Starfield, I don't say this. I don't say this nicely about a Bethesda game because usually I say, oh God, they're an experience. Like, who, if you really want to. But I think Starfield does have the potential to be an experience. Now, will it rival Star Citizen or something like that? No, but I think Bethesda is carving its own space to be a spacey title because the fact that we are kind of shitting on them right now, why aren't we letting this company that wants to try something new breathe and explore just a little bit? Do we really want them to make Elder Scrolls and Fallout until we are in a nuclear fallout? Is that what we want?
Yes, that wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't be completely bothered by that, but continue.
But they need to explore, otherwise, I mean, look at BioWare. Struggling. And they made some of games of our childhood. So let them explore, let them flop if they flop, truly. And the fact that they're still here and still trying, we should embrace that because
moving on from that.
Sorry.
No,
I love you,
I'm sitting there trying to like help out with segues and
the big pivot. Okay, well, keep it in line with Xbox because obviously that's the main topic of today. So we have the Xbox Game Showcase. Now, an angle that I want to attack this from is Sarah Bond had a tweet. She quote tweeted the information about the upcoming Xbox Showcase. Now, the part that stood out to me was the hearts that she had on said tweet. Now, on said tweet, she had a green heart and a blue heart. Now, historically, when we see Xbox figureheads tweeting hearts, they're usually green, which is supposed to signify, the Xbox community, Xbox love. Now, when we think blue, that is usually associated with PlayStation. Now, we know that Xbox owns Activision Blizzard, or Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard. Blue Heart is for Sega. Ooh, I didn't even think of that. That would be a funny twist. But going along the messy lines of it being Sony.
You like to be messy.
Yeah, I'm very messy. Which, let's be real, Xbox has to consistently acknowledge PlayStation for the simple fact that they own Call of Duty. Like, we could go through all the other games. Call of Duty is a huge part of gaming for every console. So to have a big presentation that's most likely going to have some Call of Duty news, you have to have some acknowledgement. So let's talk about this. How much of PlayStation is going to be, how much of this showcase is going to mention PlayStation? How much is PlayStation going to be involved? Want to swing over to you, Celeb. My bad. I always want to call you
Let me say this. I really don't think there's going to be much PlayStation coming from a former PlayStation fanboy, as you can see in the background. I love PlayStation. They were my home console, but when Xbox Game Pass came out and really started hitting it hard, I was like, PlayStation, what the fuck are you doing? I will tell you this. I think that this Xbox press conference showcase is going to be mainly focused around just a couple of small things. And I say that in the lightest terms. I think the main focus on this showcase is going to be the redacted section. It's not during the main Xbox showcase. They're going to showcase some stuff. We're going to hear about Indiana Jones. We're going to hear about some of these smaller indie titles that they're going to be really focusing on over these next few months. But I would be shocked to see really big stuff shown off during the Xbox showcase, followed by this Call of Duty redacted direct. The reason why is because if you don't remember, it's just kind of like last year with the Starfield showcase. When Starfield showcase came out, the Xbox game showcase showed off, and it showed off stuff like there were some real cool announcements and stuff. But the biggest thing is too that we also have to put into play that Sarah Bond has said before. This next Xbox console is supposed to be the most powerful generational jump that Xbox and gaming has ever seen. So if we are shown off stuff, do not get overexcited and think we're getting this shit this year. Because I would honestly say that there might be a couple of surprises for some somewhat semi-big indie titles to be coming this year from the showcase. But I think a lot of the stuff, if there is surprises that we're going to see, it is going to be for the next in between Xbox Series X and the next generation of consoles. Because I think it's going to be coming a lot quicker than what we think it's going to be coming out. Really, if you think about it, COVID in general effed this entire console generation. So, as all of us being, I'm guessing all of us are, in our 30s, somewhere around there.
No, we're all in our 30s.
Yeah. So we all know, just saying, we all know in that perspective that these consoles that we have dealt with before that have come out previously, these console generations, we didn't just see like a great console launch. We saw massive game releases. We saw massive showcases around them. We saw tons of sales for not just we're not going to do the whole PlayStation sold more, we sold more. Just in general, the fan bases grew so tremendously from PlayStation 2 to Xbox, and then from PlayStation 3 to Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii, 3DS, all this other stuff. So when PS5 and Xbox Series X came out, their sales went to shit. And the only main stage console that was something that was still really hitting was the Nintendo Switch, and PC gaming. So the sales for these consoles did not perform the way they needed to. The components for these consoles were not available the way they were supposed to be. So they're cool consoles. They're great, but I have to say, I feel that we kind of had, the cover pulled over our eyes in the perspective of these being the best consoles we've ever seen, because I feel the next consoles that we are going to see is my children just walked in. I knew it.
Bro.
The sign was not going to work.
Bro, all good.
So the biggest thing is that you have a shirt on, right, son? Okay. The biggest thing is we have to understand that most of these consoles that are coming out are going to be the main stage consoles for games like Fable, for the next generation of Gears, and much more. So I'm going to hand it off to y'all. So I can talk to these kids.
And that's actually a good point and a good segue into what I want to ask you, Hugs. What do you think? Are we gonna get an update on games that that were previewed to us in the past? I'm thinking the Compulsion Games title. What was it? I can't believe I'm blanking on it, with the black man on in the bayou playing the guitar. I can't believe I'm blanking on that name. Compulsion Games, please. Somebody let me know in the chat.
That.
But do you think it's possible that we'll see a State of Decay 3 up? Do you think, how deep are they? Are we gonna get any deep dives? It's sad that I can call these titles like crate digging titles, because they showed us previews, or whether it was CGI trailer or whatnot, or even just a name, but then they just completely fell off. So what do you think? Are we going to get any reprisals of old announced titles, Hugger?
I mean, it's possible because I fully, for the life of me, believe Bayonetta 3 was a figment of my imagination and nobody else knew about it. And then it came
I
out.
still think Hellblade 2 is fake.
No, I think Metroid Prime 4 is fake. Completely. Gone. Oof to the wind. I don't know that we might see anything like super big because I was thinking, oh, maybe it would be time to see the next Wolfenstein game or something like that. But that would be like a Summer Games Fest or something big. Just drop it there and be like, it's yours.
Hey, just to add in, Machine Games, the Machine Games is working on the Indiana Jones, but from my understanding, there's another Bethesda studio that's working on something. So, you never knew.
But
Just
yeah,
saying.
really, it's Xbox too. When they also say the future of gaming, they mean the future of everything because their gaming tech goes into their PCs. Like it's 1-to-1. So Xbox, they're doing some money moves now that we may not like, but it's business moves, as Des likes to say, and it doesn't matter if it's morally correct, it's business correct. So I don't know what we're gonna see and what the future of Xbox is, but they're moving interestingly now.
Okay, so knowing that we're getting redacted, which when I think redacted, I always think government, I always think military, I think CIA, and I automatically think Call of Duty. So having a strong gut feeling that we're getting the Call of showcase, the follow-up showcase to the Xbox showcase is about Call of Duty.
Samara, please.
Oh, you're not mute. There you go. I got all good. I just wanted to let you know. Safe to assume that it's going to be Call of Duty. Des, what are we going to get? Big reveal?
Not to cut you off. Who made the original SOCOM games? Was it Activision? I know they were Sony games too.
Was it Activision?
I don't think it was Activision because I know the Army was a part of it. Does anybody know?
Oh no! Oh Lord!
Zipper Interactive.
And who owns Zipper Interactive? Oh God!
I just feel like that could be if it's not Call of Duty, another military themed thing. Oh, we got 2 super chats we missed, B.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know I missed super chats.
Girl, I didn't even.
Super chat from Jay Rembert. Since Xbox confirmed they were having FanFest, we'll be pissed off if Xbox fans show up because of all the porting. Jez confirmed again that more games are going to PlayStation. Now, Jay, shout out to Jez Corden, friend of the show. I will say this. The parent company of Xbox is literally globally known for putting their software any and everywhere it can function. Why wouldn't that DNA make its way into Xbox? I know a couple years ago you wouldn't have been able to get me to say that openly because it didn't fit the gaming world that we knew. But in the world we live in now, where one of the competitors owns one of the biggest games in the console space, like there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Call of Duty is always one of the biggest games. It's always an October top seller. It's always in the top 20. It is that game, especially within the console space. And now one of the main competitors owns it. The world is different. We live in a different world. So and then with the success, even if it was just front-loaded success just to get the skin from Sea of Thieves fans, like even if that was the only thing, they still see it as Xbox Microsoft game was a top-selling game, a top pre-ordered game on a competitor console, that being PlayStation 5. So knowing all of that,
PlayStation played a lot of poor me when they were doing a lot of these deals. So that's why we're looking at them like you're weak now because they played poor me.
Oh yeah, they did do that. And now they're going to be getting all these games. They're going to be getting out. That's actually a good question. Des, if you're available. I don't want to like throw you on the spot.
No, no,
But
okay.
going off of Jay's super chat, and much love, Jay. Really appreciate you. What what current game do you imagine going to PlayStation if Jazz's news reporting is correct?
Oh
What's the
man.
next titles?
Maybe some Final Fantasy type.
Well, I'm sorry, from Xbox to PlayStation.
Oh, from Xbox to PlayStation. Sorry, I
Yeah.
thought
I just
Xbox the other
my
way
bad. I
around.
wanted to. No. From Xbox to PlayStation, and then Cal, I'll get to your super chat in a second.
I'm sorry. You know what?
No,
Why
I
is
didn't
it
mean to
on
throw
this
you on the spot.
podcast? Because
No, I'm so
it's
sorry.
just like I don't really play on Xbox, guys. Like
Well,
That's
I'm a
true.
got you.
PC gamer. So like I don't really pay attention to like what big exclusives are being released on
Hmm.
Xbox versus what's being played on PlayStation, even though like I have the consoles. If I can get it on Xbox Pass, then I'm just gonna play it on
Yeah.
PC for the most
PC Game
part.
Pass. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny? Let's be real. Most of the exclusives that most people are thinking of in terms of Xbox are going to be legacy titles that I know you have some history in. So we're talking in my head when I think legacy Xbox and current exclusives, you got your Forza,
Halo.
you got your Gears, you got your Halos. Like these are the only games that I can think of. And then somebody in the chat mentioned Redfall, which
I do
that
wonder if they're going to push bigger games or like start off small
mm,
with like some of their
Mm.
smaller titles. I think that would probably be the smartest move to start out small and then get big and kind of like work up that momentum.
like
Um,
Recore.
yeah, you know, because
Damn.
I,
But
I I honestly think like this is them testing out what's going to happen, right? So why do that
mm,
with like a really big title? Because they have a ton of like third party and stuff like that that they could port over, and usually that's what you see when you have like historically when games have started to go cross platform. It was smaller games as they were testing it out, and then you got like these big ass games that were coming to like all of the platforms. You know what I mean? So I think that would be the smart thing to do. Because honestly, if it's a big game and they port it over and it plays like shit, that's going to hurt them more than a smaller game being ported over and not doing as
but
well.
what
Right.
if it
And
plays better?
Well, they won't know that until they get a lot of people playing it. And that's the
True,
problem. You never have enough people with QA.
true,
Your biggest stressor is when you release it to the public.
mhm.
true,
100%.
true.
And you also have to remember too, when you think about the Xbox company umbrella. Okay, so they are a company that has engulfed so many studios, it's hard for people to think about. So when people think about Xbox exclusives coming to PlayStation, the first thing they think is, "Oh my God, they're bringing Halo, they're bringing Gears, they're bringing this." You're not thinking. You're not. You got to pause yourself and really stop and think about the studios that are now considered Xbox exclusive studios. You have
Hmm.
Xbox Game Studios, which are a massive amount of game studios. Then you have Bethesda, who has the umbrella themselves of Arcane, id Software, Tango, ZeniMax, Machine Games, and then you have, you can't even really get into it, but then you have Activision, and
Yeah.
Activision has so many studios under their umbrella. It is
Mhm.
insane. And then you have Blizzard and King Games, which King Games
Yup.
in general it's one of the biggest mobile studios out there. So you
Yeah.
have Candy Crush and all this other stuff, and they're a gigantic mobile platform. So it could be a stretch, a slew of anything. It could be Candy Crush for the PS5. It could
Age of
be
Empires.
Age of Empires.
I
It
didn't
could,
even
Oh.
Age
yeah.
of Empires going to PlayStation. I could see
Yeah.
that. That would be a quick,
Listen,
easy.
And High Moon Studios is owned by Activision. High Moon Studios has also always been known for their involvement with Activision creating anything that has to do with Transformer titles. So anything that High Moon comes out with, it could bring out. Now, it was announced recently that Toys for Bob did decide to disembark from Activision. So they now have their creative aspect of being their own studio and stuff back. But with that, there are still these huge conglomerate companies out there. And I'm going to say a shocking bit that there's part of my brain that thinks it won't happen, but it would not surprise me if it did, because Xbox is so overly confident in the sales that it would bring, is if we saw Playground Studios bring Playground or Turn 10 Studios bring a Forza title to PlayStation.
I'm telling you.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, it would do so many sales
It'd be
for
stupid.
Xbox. It would be
Especially with the way Gran Turismo has gone down. Ooh.
Gran Turismo
that last launch.
Yes, my God, it's dropped so bad. When you have titles, when you have these racing titles out there like Forza that just outperform so many games, and something
Especially
like
as a sports game.
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Something like Gran Turismo that has always been one of those pivotal racing titles that seems like it just can't get out of its old school ways of, if I'm going to play a racing title, I want to play something like Forza that's fast paced, it has my blood pumping. When you play Gran Turismo compared to it, it's such a different experience. It's more of that like, hey, listen, you're going to play this game and you're just going to see how beautiful the road is while you're playing, and it's not that it's a bad game. It's just, it's really stuck in the past. So, but I agree with what Des said, is that, and what you all said, is that you have to realize that it is a massive umbrella of games that Xbox Studios and Xbox as in general has. So these could be games that stretch across all different types of genres and platforms that we would not even really expect to see as the Xbox exclusive coming to PlayStation. But Xbox and Microsoft as a whole, that's the one thing that I will say. The PlayStation could sell consoles all day, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that Microsoft is all about is that bottom line dollar. They want to make that money to further their reach in not just the gaming space, but the technological space. So that is where you have to really look. Like Game Pass is doing its job. Game Pass is doing what it's supposed to be doing, but where can we branch this more? Okay, we have all these studios. Why not bring some of these third parties to PlayStation, but still hold true to what we have told our Xbox fan base about real massive exclusives that can only be played on Xbox? And that's where you're going to get some of these massive games. And we have talked about it for years. I was at E3 2018 and 2019. So seeing some of these trailers that I saw, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. But to have that kind of pit feeling afterwards of like, those games are still not out. It sucks. It sucks. But at the same time, I am an optimistic gamer as well to realize we are in such a time of gaming that it is almost unbelievable. And I'm going to kind of get on my Second Opinion podcast kind of soapbox here, because me and my co-host Bolts talk about this all the time. We are spoiled as gamers. And we have gotten so far back on this. Hey, we deserve this. We deserve this. Do you realize what we have come from? Do you realize the type of games that they used to release? Like, think about these games back in the day that were literally carbon copies of other titles. And it was just like, oh, well, this is what we get. Now we have indie developers out there that are developing some of the most gorgeous games that we have ever seen. Some of these studios are even manned by just like a handful of staff,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
we have to
Hello
engross.
Games.
Yeah, yes, we have to
Yeah.
engross ourselves in that and realize that everything it's not just about these massive blockbuster titles. It's about gaming. It's about sitting down, and I've really honestly come to notice that even more since I've had my children. There's nothing more fascinating and compelling in video games than playing games with your own children. Of me
100%.
turning these games on and playing the games with the kids and just walking them through it and just having this exploration. It brings such an imaginative thing back into gaming. And that's where we have to get our minds back to. We've got to stop being such a I want this now type of games community and realize that we may not always get what we want, and it may take some time to really get this perfect type of game to come out. But hey, we do have all these other massive thousands upon thousands of titles that we really need to show respect to, because when we don't, what sucks about it is that it bleeds the games industry dry, to the extent that not only do these companies lose money, but they're in such a capacity now that when they lose money, they automatically start cutting jobs. So we
Yes,
see
I
these
mean,
game teams that
Take
are
Two
yes, we see these
today.
game teams out there. Yeah, yeah, for real. Like we see these game teams out there that are so utterly talented and can create some of these wonderful experiences that you probably would have never played before. And I will say it, and then I'll pass it on to somebody. I'm sorry for getting onto this, but
No.
I remember one of my first events that I really went to and was just shocked by gaming. It was Austin Palooza. I think it was the name of it. It was the first time. It was this big, just entertainment expo that they had in Austin. It was the first time that Human Centipede had ever been shown to the public, and everyone was there just for that. And I was like, I'm not here for that. I'm here for this PlayStation fan day that they're having. So I went down there to cover the event, and PlayStation had this really cool small space set up in this bar. They had a giant Starcraft or Starfield or what is it? Starhawk. They had a huge
Okay.
they had this huge Starhawk tournament set up, and whoever won got this, exclusive painting and all this. But there was one development studio there that I ended up spending so much time over there with them playing their game. And it was one of the only games that I can say as a grown man actually kind of brought me to tears while I was playing because how gorgeous it was, and that was Journey.
Oh
So
yeah, Journey's a
Mm,
beautiful game.
I was shocked by that game, and that games company was at the event. It was one of the first times that the game was kind of like playable for the public. And I sat there and I said, I know I got to get up. There's somebody else that has to try it out. And they said, no, keep playing. And I was like, what? So I just sat and just played this game. And I was just like, why have I not been focusing more on indie titles? What am I doing with my gaming time? So that's whenever I really started to engross myself into a bunch of these indie developed titles. And that's the reason why I do have such a huge love for what Xbox does with Xbox Game Pass, because
oh yeah.
not only do they give us these big AAA titles, but they give us the opportunity to play some of these indie developed games that we probably would have never seen. We probably would have never even looked at before if it wasn't a feature on Xbox Game Pass. And that's my soapbox for tonight, ladies and
Nah,
gentlemen.
hey,
Have
no,
a-
and let me get to Cal's super chat. It's their main showcase and Xbox Fan Fest. No way they're incompetent and tone deaf enough to announce PS5 ports there. No, they are rich enough and focus on the bottom
I
line
don't think
enough
it's tone
to
deaf.
where they
I
what?
I don't think it's tone deaf.
I don't
I
think it's tone deaf. It's letting
hot
you know the future.
hot take. I think Xbox is phasing out of the console
Well,
business.
that's not even a
That's,
hot take, bro.
but
They
you know,
said it.
people will
Phil
That's
get
a real
Spencer
time
said it.
take, baby girl.
well, I
Yeah.
said that like a while ago, but people were like, no, that's not. I was like, yo, they don't, it's not
Bro,
a thing.
remember in
Yeah.
2020, in February 2020, Phil Spencer said in a whole interview, our
Listen, I don't
competition
listen to
is
Phil like
Amazon.
that.
Only reason I keep quoting it is because he's the head of Xbox.
No,
And
that makes sense. I'm just
yeah,
saying, for me to not be up on
yeah,
Phil
yeah.
like that,
Well, no,
that's
but
just what I've been seeing. Okay, so
got
just
you.
for the average gamer who's like, who is not us, right? And
Yeah.
obviously not me.
No,
That is
and that,
something that's been like happening for a while now. So like I guess what I'm saying is like this whole like back and forth with Xbox exclusives, like it's not going to be that pretty soon because there's not really going to be an Xbox for you to have an exclusive on. And what they'll do, this is what I think they're going to do because they're already doing it and it really irritates me, is they're going to have like some time where they do a sale for just like some special Xboxes, and that's the only time you'll
Oh,
get it. And people will go crazy for it, and
oh
it'll be like
God.
they released like
Bro.
it's gonna
2,000,
be like a
and that's
supreme
it.
release.
Oh,
That's it.
Listen,
Yeah.
That's it.
Listen, Des, you're going the right path right now because if y'all haven't seen the craze around that X-Men Xbox,
bro.
there's literally only I think there's only so many of them that are available. And I think it was I can't even remember who did the artwork for that Xbox, but I agree with you 100%. And if
I bet
if
you one's
you
going to DJ Khaled.
100,
Stop.
yes, yeah. And then he's gonna
It's going
say
to
another
I
one.
celebrities.
remember that
Yeah.
happened. What was that? Oh, not the Looney, not Space. Was it Space Jam? They sent them the Space Jam Xbox and
Uh-huh.
I think
controller.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh
think
my
so. But
God.
it is really going that way. If y'all don't remember, man, Xbox has been talking about this for so long. Before when the Xbox One came out, they talked about how like before the big reveal, they said they had very much considered the Xbox being a diskless, download only console. And that's something that a lot of gamers at the time were like, no, bro, we can't do that. No. Why would we do that? I'm telling you, Xbox wants to be everywhere. Xbox and Microsoft have enough money to siphon money into a streaming platform service to where the servers could hold up for,
I mean, hell,
generations.
their competitor uses their Azure. Like, come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, bro. Look, now I'll say this. I don't think we'll be consoleless while we're in the final minutes. I don't think we'll be consoleless in the next 15. I give it like we got at least 15, 20
So
years
we're older.
before the idea. Yeah, like my kids, when they're not kids, will probably
You mean Xbox or just in general?
just in general.
Oh,
I don't
I give
think
it 5 years for Xbox. I give it
um
5 years.
that's fair. I mean, if you save money on research and development and make money on all your money's made on software,
Well, let's be
and
honest.
I'll say this.
Doesn't
I'll
matter
think
if it's
I'll
us. We
yeah.
don't
Hey,
matter to
hey,
them because we subscribe for Game Pass. They got a board of investors that are giving them 10, 20, 50
that
million dollars to make
Yeah.
these investments. We do not matter.
hey,
They will not
hey,
piss
Des.
on us if we're on fire.
What?
Don't
No,
forget that.
there's no but. I believe if somehow, some way, Game Pass makes its way on a version of itself onto PlayStation and Nintendo,
Oh yeah.
I think your
Bye.
5-year plan is like
Oh
on
yeah.
the
I
money.
think that's what they're working towards. Like,
I do too.
yeah.
I've been saying that because we know Xbox they would put Game Pass any and everywhere.
Yeah, as long as they have it on
Yeah.
computers and people are
Yeah,
still making gaming laptops and
yeah.
gaming systems,
And
they don't need
yo,
Xbox.
we don't talk crazy like this. It's all of us here are old enough to
I
remember
got the
when
console.
Nintendo
Yeah,
bailed us out, when we didn't have a gaming industry, when we were close to that and
Mhm.
recovering, and we got what we got. and we can see that it's rapidly heading towards there. So there's going to be some decisions. This is not everything is cyclical. We've seen this before.
And I think too, a lot of these
you're-
gamers, a lot of young
physical. You're talking to a guy who still
Hey.
buys physical. My head's not in the clouds, guys. Like I'm not.
Mm.
You're talking
No.
to a guy who buys physical games and
Bro,
physical.
I remember
games.
when I didn't think Sega was ever like. Remember when
Well,
Sega?
yes.
I'm
Yeah.
like, we've been through some
That's
consoles.
Yeah.
that's what I was
That's what
about
I'm
to
saying.
say. A lot of these young
Dreamcast,
gamers out
like,
there, they haven't dealt with
disappearing.
a company coming out and saying we're not making consoles anymore. You're like,
And then you just gotta say deal with it. Suck it up.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a really
It wouldn't be
big
the first
thing.
time.
It's a really big thing, and I think all of us are hitting the nail on the head with this because, like, Xbox, their goal is to, of course, in their gaming aspect, their goal is to make great gaming experiences. But where Xbox tested their system was Game Pass, bro. I mean, no
Mhm.
ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I
Like,
told you everything.
what can we do with this? And as somebody that lives in a much smaller town, and at one point lived in a town of only 1,000 people, right down the road, I had 36 people in my graduating class, so it was a
Damn.
really small town. But rural areas are one of the most suffered areas whenever it comes down to internet connection. But I'm telling you right now,
Talk about all the time, guys.
in the next few years, some Microsoft or one of these very large companies, though I don't much like the person, is going to work with someone like Elon Musk and Starlink. My father actually has Starlink, and he lives in a very wooded area. I have no cell phone signal at his house at all, but with his Starlink satellite, he gets like 500 to 600 megabyte download speeds.
Damn.
And when that technology is so much easier to grasp for everybody, it's going to be a big thing. I live in this small town, and we just now got fiber, and it
So
was
not
even
so
that.
huge.
So
It was
let
huge.
me stop you. You are preaching the gospel of Baron. This is always my talking point because
Yes.
you often hear a lot of people always say digital is everything, digital this, digital that. What you gotta
baby.
understand, the internet, even within the US, hell, within California. I got
It's one of
family
the-
who
yeah.
have to
Fame's on Spectrum.
until
and he
until
struggles.
internet becomes a utility.
Yes.
Not because internet is still a luxury item.
It's still
It
considered a
still
luxury
falls
item.
under luxury
Yeah.
until internet becomes a utility, which means it's almost a requirement where CPS will come to your house if you don't have it.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah.
like that's
That's the
utility.
truth.
Like if
Yeah.
you ain't got water, you ain't got lights, like they come to your house.
Yep.
This until we get that. The idea of this extreme, like full digital future is just so far out. Like it doesn't, I can't even comprehend it
Even in
because it just
Cyberpunk, the lowest of
yeah
the low slums were still
had internet.
technologically
Dude, they
advanced.
was brain dancing and homeless people were brain dancing in Cyberpunk.
Yes, bro. And
Yes.
that's so true because I didn't really think about it like how you just said it. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm like, but
You look so cute.
I'm I'm whimsed right now, man. I'm like, man,
I mean,
you just rizzed me up. It's
They-
honestly listen. So it's such a big thing to think about, and this is not saying that Dez is. I feel that Dez is right with
Yeah,
what
yeah.
she's saying, but what I'm saying is we will not see a true change of gaming in general until. Yes, I can open that, son. There will not be a big change in gaming in general until what he said, until internet is a full-on utility, until it is a connective speed across the globe that we can say, hey, I'm way out here in the country, but I still have a massive connection. I could still download this. I could still download that. That's whenever things will change and we'll move into the whole, Ready Player One space
Yeah,
of
no, I
things.
Yeah.
So,
totally agree. I think one of the things we haven't talked about is just like mobile games and how, because that's more
Mhm.
accessible to everyone, even with shitty connections.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
Yeah.
listen, if Microsoft gets into making sure that their games are on mobile, like it's over.
Oh,
Warzone. Just look.
It's
yeah.
over. And literally that's all they're like, if people can't see that that's what they're doing right now, they're just making sure that they have these companies that are producing these games so they can put them on whatever platform they want. Because at the end
Actually,
of the day, they don't need to
yeah.
need to make an Xbox. I get it. You guys are like, no, they're not going to get rid of it, blah blah blah. Microsoft itself, okay, we're not talking about Xbox. Microsoft itself does not care about Xbox, the console.
Hey, well, on that note, guys, we are overtime, but there's this thing that we like to do here at Level One, and I don't know if Fame alerted our guests to it, but
No.
what are, probably not. So I'll
No.
let everybody else go first. We'll start with you, Des. What are you playing, watching, or not? What are you playing? What do you recommend people play and or watch or read or entertain themselves with? No, okay.
So I always feel bad because I'm always playing games that people have already played, but I just started playing
Okay.
Divinity Original Sin, like the first one.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
Queen.
wow.
Queen.
So, because the beta is coming to an end on one team, and so I had to find something else to play.
That's fair.
You couldn't go back to Baldur's, I guess.
And no, listen, I'm not ready.
No,
I'm
I'm not
not ready.
ready.
I'm not ready.
Guys in the chat, please let us know the games that you recommend people play, shows you recommend shows people watch, movies, books, whatever. Just recommend some entertainment people out there, and I'll read it out. Hugger, over to you. What do you recommend somebody play, watch, read, entertain them?
If you are on console Game Pass and you haven't started the Stalker series yet, I don't know about you. Something
Mm.
funky with you. You should definitely play it. But if you are on the everywhere all at once, the Have a Nice Death just came out,
Mm.
and it's a little indie title. Looks a little adorable. I think I'll dive into it tonight. And to watch, I'm still on a bad horror movie kick, so I've
Nice.
You
I've
should
been
watch The
rewatching.
Blackening then. 'Cause
I
It's
did.
not
It
a
was so bad.
bad. It's not bad. It was.
It's
so
It was
trash.
It's so bad,
oh,
B.
oh my god. Moving on. I'm not gonna have this argument.
But you know what we can all agree on? I went into that awful movie, the what was it? The Magical Negroes movie, expecting
Oh, I
some,
didn't see that.
You did not go watch
and
it.
I watched it at home because I'm like I want to lean back in my chair. I still wish I could have got a refund on a ticket. It was so
Oh, it
bad.
was so bad. It was
dang.
supposed to be satirical, but are you just saying it
No,
wasn't?
it leans into it. It is not satirical
Oh,
at all. It plays like it is. It's not.
aw,
They
that's
made some
sad.
choices. But go watch some
Alright.
bad movies because even when they're awful, they're good. Because look at The Room. That's a cult
Oh my
classic.
God, this man tried to be like, no, it was a serious movie. And then when everybody was like, it's trash, he's like, no, I did that on purpose. Like, oh, okay.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Just lean into it. Go watch
Boardy
bad movies.
McBoard. Go watch bad movies. Boardy McBoard. She's casting a tournament, and and it's her birthday weekend.
Oh,
So
happy
yeah,
birthday, Bordy.
Happy
yeah,
birthday.
It's
Boardy.
your birth this weekend? Shit.
Is it
Happy
this weekend or
birthday,
is it
girl.
today? Oh, and
Can I
then
throw in something
arcade.
really quick? I'm so
Oh, go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
So the anniversary of the Transformer movie, the 1987 animated movie, they're celebrating the 40th anniversary. Check in your city and see if they're going to be playing in theater, because I promise you it's an experience.
Was
So
that
you've
the
never,
theater of?
yo, go see the movie. Shut up, Baron.
My bad. I almost ruined all the magic. Um,
Baron
but
out here
yes,
spoiling.
spoiling. Oh, Boston says go watch Hugger and Bordy's Resident
Oh
Evil
my god.
5 streams, which are dope. And then Black Ronin says go watch Monkey Man. I do need to go
Oh,
see
I heard that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then okay, Celeb.
Yes.
What do you got? What do you recommend somebody watch, read, play, anything to
I'm gonna start
entertain
with watch. So
Okay.
I had of course, most everybody should, if you're a geek or gamer or whatever else, most everybody should have already watched Invincible, I would think. I had the great opportunity of reviewing that series for Amazon. Especially season 2, unbelievable. It's a really, really great series. Definitely watch that. And it just made me recently get back into watching The Boys. And just the craziness of that last episode of the latest season was just I just watched it right before the show. If you haven't had a chance to watch the HBO original Righteous Gems, please stop what you're doing and watch it. It is it is by far one of the craziest shows that you will be able to watch. It is unbelievable. Has a really great cast of Danny McBride, Adam Devine, and it's about I can't even, I honestly can't, a televangelist. It's about televangelist, and when you think about corrupt televangelist,
Ooh.
that's the show to watch. I'm telling you, it is a really dark comedy, and it is really fun to watch. So definitely make sure to watch that. And then of course I would forget it right before I said it, but I'll remember it soon. Gaming wise, I have I have a weird kind of list of games. So I had some family issues. My dad's health dropped pretty bad, and I have not been able to drop my review yet for it. But Dragon's Dogma 2, I got a code from Capcom, and that should be coming in the next few days. But love the game. Unbelievably expansive RPG that is, I think, one of Capcom's best works. It's a really, really fun game. Shout out, of course, to a instant classic right here with one of the best casts available, Deathloop. Been jumping back into Deathloop and playing it. Such a great game. And if you have not played it and you have Xbox Game Pass, there's 2 Bethesda titles that you have to play, and it's Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. Some of my favorite Bethesda titles out there. They're such great games. And then of course, one game that utterly just shocked me, and I really mean this, shocked me, and never knew that I would play this game so much, and it's Cocoon.
Great
Such,
things about it.
my God, it's such a good indie title. It is a mind-bending, title that just, when I say a mind-bending, I mean it literally jumps you in back and forth in between all these different worlds. It really shocked me. I did not expect to be so engrossed in that game. It popped up on Xbox Game Pass, and I was like, I'll play it and kind of see where it's going to take me. And I'm still playing it. I've kind of jumped back and forth in between it and some other little small indie games. But I would definitely say that game is something that you should play. If you love indie titles and you love a challenge, then that is the game that you should play for sure. So,
oh yeah, it's me. Ugh.
Yeah, girl. Come on.
Ugh.
You got
Well,
this. Baron, what do you have for us this week?
you know what? I think everybody should go and watch the Showtime original classic, like US of Terra, which is about split person DID. Not DID. I believe it is DID.
You've been
Multiple
into some heavy
personality.
stuff, B.
Whoa, yeah, dude. And then what else? Banshee. So you gotta go watch Banshee, which I believe was Cinemax. I don't think that was Showtime. But Banshee, US of Terra, and the first 3 seasons of Weeds. Like
Damn.
Weeds? That was
Weeds
such a good
was
show.
my
Weeds
family.
was a
Oh my
good show, bro.
My
God.
family was week to week together. Mom, dad, we would sit and watch Weeds. Like it
That's a great show, man.
But yeah, just
great.
the first 3 seasons.
The
'cause
first 3 seasons,
it kind of
past that,
fell off.
it goes off the rails. But the
Yeah.
first 3 seasons, some of the best television that is out there. U-Turn
That's true.
and all, like, bro, like this is when the Priuses first came out. So like there's a whole thing with that. Like, bro, it is top tier. Now, games to check out, go and wishlist Abiotic Factor. You'll be seeing some content from that. It is a science silly based survival crafter with 6 players multiplayer. And shout out to PlayStack for shooting that over to us. We'll be getting some stuff out for that. You'll probably see me and Johnny struggling through that in the next couple of days. Yeah, it's gonna be a struggle. Johnny will be crafting and I'll be out butchering
What
science
is
experiments.
One thing. Before
It's called Abiotic Factor. It
it?
is
Survival?
yeah, it's a survival crafting experience. 1 to 6.
I'm a little upset you didn't tell me about this.
We'll talk later. But
Okay.
before we go, guys, we
yes.
are taking next week off. We will not be here next week, but there's other shows and other things that will be filling that void. So stay tuned for I'm not calling it X, it's Twitter. And we'll tweet out some links to other shows that might be happening, or you can rewatch what we're on. But we need a nice rest because we need Des on camera again. Okay?
No.
Okay.
She don't
I
like
won't
that.
be on camera for the first 2 weeks of June, though. I'll just tell you guys
See,
that.
all right, bye. All right,
On
guys.
Pride?
On
You're
that
gonna do
note,
this to me on Pride?
I'll be traveling. I'll be in your area.
look,
Still,
I want to.
doesn't matter.
I'm gonna go to Hunter's house and just show up on cam behind her and be like, "Hey, y'all."
Yeah.
That would be so
I think
dope.
I would hit you because I would scare the crap out of me. Baba Yaga.
Oh.
But
On that note,
Oh, wait.
oh, go ahead. I was going to say,
I
where can
remember.
everybody find
I
you?
remember.
Oh, yeah.
Parasite the Gray on
Oh,
Netflix.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the live
It is-
action one, right?
It's the live action of the Parasite anime. Really great watch. If you get a chance, you got to watch it. I was very enthralled with that show. So I'm sorry. Sorry about
No,
that.
all good. All good. Now, Celeb, let folks know where they can find you and where they can check out all your stuff.
Okay, you can check me out on Cineleaks.com. Follow me on main social medias as S0LEB on TikTok. You can follow me on Twitter, not X.
Yeah, I calls it.
You can also check out some of the. We have small bits of content that are coming out of the Second Opinion YouTube page, just some videos here and there of gameplay corners and stuff like that. But the main amount of our content is going to be on Cinelinks.com. We're going to have a lot of content coming out of Summer Games Fest, which I'll be at, covering a good chunk of stuff for Cinelinks while we're there. Huh?
You're gonna be in LA?
Yes, I'll be in Los Angeles.
Oh, I'll see you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, we'll see you there.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so we'll be there, and I'm very excited. The last event that I was actually able to cover in person was E3 2019. So I had a couple of years
Ooh.
off of just playing the dad role and working myself to death. But Got a new job now, and I get the weekends off and get pretty much whatever
Nice.
holiday and vacation I need. So I'm like, okay, it's happening, getting back into it. So, but yeah, you can check us out there. And also, please do me a favor and check out the Second Opinion podcast. We upload weekly. We were going to do a podcast this past Monday, but we're doing one tomorrow. And we do, we're just two old, fat, bald guys that talk shit about games. And we've been doing it since I beat myself up about it, but we've been podcasting since 2011. And I'm just now finally getting to the point of being at episode 360. And I told my co-host the other day, I was like, we should be at episode like 1000 now, bro. We've been podcasting for like fucking 13 years. What have we been doing? So life, that's what
Life.
happens. But anyways, I really appreciate y'all having me on. And anytime you guys need another co-host, just holler at me. I'm down.
Well,
Hell
we'll
yeah.
make sure we gotta have you back on. And what does Fame normally say? Because I want to butcher it.
You
Because
guys
I
are
don't
Even
know.
if we tell you what he says, you're still gonna butcher it.
Oh,
Because we
he
told
says
you last time and
onions.
you still butchered it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So what am I supposed to
But
say?
you don't have to butcher it because it's
Oh,
different
I can
now.
do my
So
own
you
thing.
can set the
I can
standard.
do my own thing. Oh,
Yeah, baby.
snaps. So make sure to give all your money to LV1gaming.com and make sure to send the money through PayPal, send the money through membership, send the money
Send the money.
Just
send the
mail it
money.
in.
We got Kofi, we got
Zelle.
all the ways y'all can
Pay-
send us
PayPal.
money, and much love. And it's been LV1 Gaming.
I don't know
Peace.
why you get so awkward when you say goodbye. Like you're fine through the whole thing. That's like bye, and you just don't know what to do.
Pack all the
don't.
money
I
in a
don't-
box and send
Yeah.
it. Send it.